Hi, Pal One. So let's get started on your reading. Bear with me, guys. I still don't have an opening yet. So, Okay. Your first card is Talk About Esther. So I'm going to have the cards spread out already. So you're going to see the cards. You're going to see like the picture on the cards. And I'm just reading like the words from them, okay? So the first card, which is the military card, is Talk About Esther. Second card is my Shiva card, like going in, within. It says stop trying to grow plants in exceptional soil and no water. Okay. Your third card is the Theseus, depending on the accent. Says it's all about the details, advantages, and inside help. A purpose far greater than the eye can see. And then you have the Egyptian card, my Horus card, which says, Olva card that says, time to resurrect and redirect, time to collect your good fortune. And the last card, which is an Egyptian card, is the hidden message card. It said it only took one kiss, one hug, one smile, one moment, and now they are in love with you. Okay, now going down to the second row, you should see a computer head with like a heart and like all these wires attached. Okay, so this card says special forces and acute missions. The next card says computer versus its creator, who wins. The next card says let them talk. Let them talk. I have to censor this because, of the profanity, but let them talk because you're a big deal. Okay? Wherever you can put in the beep beep, place them. The second to last card says talk about Esther, and the last card is a decision making card where it says you have healed my heart, and tonight I want all of you. Okay, guys. First I'm gonna say, I feel like you could be dealing with somebody. It's very hidden, but this person could have a bit of a lips, if that's what it's called. Like there's an extension to the words, but it's very, whatever this is, the lips it's very subtle. Okay, so you can't really notice it unless you're having a full-blown conversation and you pay attention to this person's words. Then you'll know, right? But all right, let's see. Talk about Esther. Special forces and acute missions. Stop trying to grow plants in exceptional soil and no water. So we're talking about nurturing, right? Computer versus creator, who wins? Okay, so I can see this like this. Somebody is paying attention to like your beauty, but I feel like this person is looking at you like your beauty and brains, right? It's like you have the beauty, or I should say the depths of beauty as Esther, but you're also like a supercomputer to whoever this person is, right? Now, stop trying to grow plants in exceptional soil and no water means there's some sort of lack of nourishment. So it's like somebody could be fixated on your beauty, but they're not nurturing something. Computer versus creator, who wins? And I could also see this as, because for me, I feel like it's leaning more towards love, right? So I see somebody trying to stick to the job or stick to a certain mission. Maybe somebody is on a mission, but it's kind of like the mind is overriding. The mind is trying to override the heart, but it's like the heart is overriding the mind at the same time. But somebody is really like fixated on your beauty, okay? I feel like your beauty in a lot of ways has healed this person. You could be a natural born healer, right? And all somebody has to do is be in your presence in order to be healed by you. But I feel like this person looks at you like beyond that. I feel like this person knows you're very intelligent, but they also know like, it's like you complement what you possess so well. Oh yeah. And pile one, right? I had to write down. So the energy that I got here was, of course, you guys know the famous artist. I would hope, okay? I don't want to assume. I don't want to assume, okay? But the artist Basquiat, the painter. So it's Basquiat, the painter, and the buyer of Basquiat's painting. So I can look at it like this. Somebody sees you as a work of art, and they see you as somebody worth investing in because of what you possess and because of your natural talents. And then I also see it as it's like taking a step back to look at your work and what you've created and thinking to yourself, not from like a space of ego, but you're thinking to yourself like, man, what I created is really beautiful. And it's like you're seeing your work through the eyes of the buyer, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go into this reading. To clarify these 4 cards. Invest in a date with your love today in order to seal this successful deal. Oh, man. Okay, so this is the trophy card. I'm saying amen because this is just confirmation, okay? So I'm going to tell you how this is appearing to me. This is appearing to me as somebody wanting to work with you, okay? Outside of what you do. They want to work with you. They want to collaborate with you in some way, shape, or form. But this person also thinks you're really attractive. So it's going to start off, maybe the deal is, it's supposed to start off like oh, it's just work. It's just professional. It's just a social gathering. But it's actually more to this person. You know what I mean? So give me stop trying to grow plants in exceptional soil and no water. So this is talking to me about, it's like, it's giving me the energy of you versus the machine, right? You know, the machine pushes out products and as it's supposed to, it's a machine. But you have something that like no level of machinery or no level of engineering can push out. Like they cannot, something feels like somebody is coming to the realization that you cannot be duplicated. It doesn't matter what they do or how they do it, or like there will not ever be another you, okay? It's like Basquiat. It's like trying to compare another artist to Basquiat. Oh, this is the Basquiat of our time. No, it isn't. There's only one Basquiat, right? So you have to see it from the perception of there's only one you, and people are really starting to appreciate the beauty of who you truly are. Okay, so clarify. So it's like stop trying to grow in places and environments where people just see you as a number. Like just another social security number. They're not seeing you as a person. They're not seeing you for your talents, your gifts, and your many like healing abilities. They're just seeing you as a body. Like stop trying to grow in places where they just see you as just that, just one body. Okay? So these 2 cards. That fell on the floor. Another one fell on the floor. Okay. Okay, so 2 things. It's hard for somebody to admit the fact that they are in love with you because you are so smart and because you are so beautiful. It's like you're not a cliche, right? Like you're not like one of the stigmas. So for me, like growing up, there was always a stigma of you could be really pretty, you could be super pretty, but if you're super pretty, that means you're not that smart. Or you could be really smart, but you're kind of hard to look at. Like from a superficial standpoint, that's what I was, in the type of environment that I was surrounded by, right? But as I got older, my perception of that changed because I saw a lot of beautiful people that were highly intelligent. So something's happening here where you are realizing your value and you're not allowing anybody who just sees you as a body or a social security number or just a supercomputer, right? You're not allowing somebody like that to like win you over with this idea or this concept of you're just supposed to be either really smart or you're just supposed to be either really pretty, or really attractive, handsome. Take it how it resonates. But somebody, right, who maybe this person just saw you as a body, somebody thought that they were blocking you because it's just like there's an energy of seeing your worth, investing in you, but they don't want you to see just how great you are. You know what I mean? Like if you're pretty or if you look good or if you're very handsome, they don't want to express that to you. But in the back of their mind, they know you are, right? If you're highly intelligent, they don't want to express that to you. But behind closed doors, when you leave the room, they just think to themselves like, wow, so-and-so, pile 1 is very intelligent, right? So you have to, there's something about like, do what you do with grace, which you naturally do, but it's something about the way you smile. Like when you smile at a person, I feel like you have different forms of smiling. You can smile at a person to let them know you're warm and welcoming, and then you have the type of smile where you can let that person know without saying much of anything, I can see right through you. And people, people just have that effect. But you can do that, and it's like this person will know either, oh wow, they're being warm and welcoming, or they'll know, oh, this person's seeing right through me. And I think that's what scares a lot of people when it comes to you, because they go from underestimating you and undervaluing you to wishing that they hadn't done that. Okay? So let's talk about, it's all about the details, advantages, and insight how a purpose far greater than the eye can see. I let them talk because you're a big deal. Okay. So my military card came out and it says 12-year-old girl, Jesus rose from sleep. Guys, why I put this as a military card, I don't know, but I know it's going to make sense as I go along in the reading, okay? So, perception, okay? Somebody is, first of all, you could be dealing with somebody who has a military background, and they could be your inside helper, or they could be the one, like, secretly guiding you, right, to take advantage of certain points. They're not taking advantage of you, right? But they're trying to show you or tell you without telling you, you have a vantage point, you should utilize it, right? Now, perception, when it comes down to Jesus, and he, like the father of the girl asks, can you raise my daughter from the dead? And everybody swore up and down that this girl was dead. What did Jesus say? She's not there. She's not dead. She's sleeping. So it's mere perception, right? And I can take this as somebody from their perception, doesn't have to be whoever this is, like that was in the beginning. From their perception, they swore they blocked you. Somebody swore they'd like completely annihilated you. Military background and all, right? They swore like you were done, right? So the thing is here, they went from, let's say, trying to block you or swearing that they blocked you to saying, like, what did I do? What did I create? Right? Somebody thought they were creating you to break down when really you just became like a supercomputer. Is someone a software engineer here? Because this is I keep picking up this energy, and there's something about PDFs, right? But it's like I'm thinking about a clip that I saw where a father and a son, they were on a plane and somebody needed help. They needed medical assistance. And the father was like, oh, look, you can't even help this person because you decided to be a software engineer. And then the father goes, go save them with a PDF, right? So there's something about this. Like maybe they can either be a father figure, or there could be a father figure in the background that makes snarky remarks at this person, like choosing their job path. I don't know why I had to say that. But if that's the case, I see one or the two being blocked. Can you clarify this 12-year-old girl that rose from sleep? Okay, that fell on the floor. I'm not picking that up. So you are your only prison. Gently open the door and set yourself free. But that came in reverse, right? So this is a decision maker card. This person could be or was married. There's a zoom in on the Mona Lisa. There's something about the arts. Like this person is an appreciator of great art. Okay, no matter what form it comes in. So I feel like this person probably went from either they went from trying to block you, or they see that somebody is trying to block you or undervalue you, and they're coming in with assistance of some sort. Because they know it's like being in a position of power, right? And you come across somebody you really appreciate as a person, but you know this person is being blackballed or blacklisted, and it's like, you know by who, and you know you have more power than the person who's trying to blacklist this other person. And so they come in. It's like they come in to help you, but it's like a hidden help. Like they don't want to expose that they're helping you, but behind the scenes they're like, this person, like, I wanted to say this person can make shit move, right? So whoever needs to get out of the way, they're going to get out of the way because that's how much power this person has. Okay. So let's see. Let's talk about the last 4 cards. Time to resurrect and redirect. Time to collect your good fortune. Talk about Esther. So again, like, there is somebody here that thinks like your beauty has healed them. They think the world of your beauty, not just so much on a superficial level, but it's something about just who you are. It's like your heart is very beautiful, and there's a sense of like, there's a purity or innocence to you they don't really see in much adults. I feel like this is one adult to another adult, but it's like your inner child and the showcasing of your inner child has healed this person, you know? So all right. No one can stop you from living. It's time to dream and achieve. But that's in reverse. Yeah, I feel like something has to die. Like this idea, this concept. It's like when we think about Esther, right? And she tells the people to fast. I don't just put it in a physical sense, like, oh, physically fast, don't physically eat. It's like, I see it from the definition of like, what was Esther's definition of fasting? So I feel like you have to fast to some limited belief or some idea, and it's something to do with your beauty, that you're not as beautiful because people don't compliment you, or you're not as attractive because people don't compliment you. The thing is, you're very attractive. It's just that when you're surrounded by people that are intimidated by your beauty and the depths of it, or your attractiveness and the depths of it, you're not going to hear it from them. Because what it'll do, rather than allow them to feel like, oh my gosh, this person's so beautiful, I can be as beautiful as that person, it stirs up an insecurity. Like, oh, well, my eyes don't look like that. My hair doesn't look like that. My body doesn't look like that. And then it starts to bring up like very shadow aspects of the people surrounding you. So I want to say like continue to appreciate your beauty and understand that just because, or your attractiveness or handsomeness, and just because people don't tell you how attractive you are, that does not mean you're not attractive. Because like you're whoever you are. Talk about Esther in the beginning, talk about Esther in the end. You are like, there's something outer worldly about your beauty, okay? And the right people are noticing this. So another decision-making card came out, and it says, I hate when we fight. Let me make this right again. I don't think this is an ex. I feel like you have a lot of, whoever you are, unbeknownst to you, you have a lot of options. You have a lot of people looking at you. And I feel like maybe that's what people are trying to block too. Somebody is trying to block the fact that you have so many suitors, like high-level suitors looking at you like they're either waiting for you to become single, or they're either going to try to make it so that you're single, so that they have a chance. Who are you? It all started as an investment. It all started as one investment. Okay, so make it right again. What does this make it right again? Because this person did something. Because you were so beautiful. What did this person do? Ask yourself, how do you open the door, not who locked it? Clarify that? Yeah, okay. So the card that came out was another decision-making card, and it says Billionaire Bars. This is making me think about Locked Out of Heaven by Bruno Mars. Okay, so I can see it like this. Somebody tried to, it's giving me Bowser energy, right? You have somebody behind the scenes that try to lock away your beauty and your sense of royalty, like in some high tower, right? In some high tower, because they did not want you to be seen, or they did not want you to be with, your Mario, masculine, feminine, binary, non-binary, take it how it resonates. But somebody wanted you all to themselves, right? And maybe you got into an argument with this person or a disagreement with this person, like, oh, you know, or maybe they did something out of jealousy, because it's making me think about Nick Jonas too. Whoever this person is, they get very jealous, they get very possessive when it comes to you because they know how beautiful you are. So maybe they want, so somebody is telling you to start asking like the right questions, right? Like, for instance, instead of, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Right? You can say something like, I know this is happening to me, but what is the benefit, or what's the highest good that's coming out of this because of this situation or circumstance? It's like, don't act like, somebody wants you to pay attention to how you ask certain questions, because the way you ask is how it's going to get answered. Okay? Now, the last two cards, it only took one kiss, one hug, one smile, one moment, and now they're still in love with you. Yeah. Like, believe it or not, you have healed a lot of people, and because you've healed these people, they are like absolutely, I wanted to say infatuated. Like, you have people infatuated with you. Just your mere presence can be intoxicating. Okay? A mundane element. Okay. BI. Required for this alchemy mundane element. Okay. Huh. Got this card? That's my alchemy card. You also could be dealing with high-level alchemists too. Like, they know how to... Somebody knows how to shape shift. Okay? But not for the wrong reasons. Somebody knows how to just... It's in the details. One more card. It's in the details. Let me see this. This is an eyebrow Egyptian sun disc. Okay. Somebody has a direct lineage or direct link to Akhenaten. I keep picking this energy up. Like, somebody is directed to the pharaoh who created a religion surrounding Aten, the sun. So you're dealing with a very powerful presence, okay? And so this person is in the details, and your heart is not bulletproof, right? Protection won't override character. You have touched this person's heart. Like, I know I keep saying this, right? But you really touched this person's heart. There was one moment where, and all it took was one, right? You had many moments with this person, but there was one moment where, unbeknownst to you, you healed this person in such a way where it's just like, oh my God, like, they fell in love with you right after or during the moment. It was in the details. So maybe it's something you said, maybe it's your sense of protection, or, and I'm thinking like motherhood. It's like the way your maternal instincts take over sometimes. It was something in regards to that. One moment where it was just like, wow, like, who is this person? Right? And it made me think about Ramses II and Nefertari. Like, there was a documentary I was watching on it, right? And I remember they said the pharaoh wrote to his wife, right? And he said, for whom the sun shined for, right? So this person, it's interesting how this is coming full circle, because this person possesses the energy of like Akhenaten, and he was focused around the sun, very controversial, right? But to whom the sun shined for, it's like there's an illumination you give off to this person. It's almost like on a soul level, they're recognizing you, like they know who you are. Okay. And usually where this person is like, I feel like they don't allow people to get too close to them. Okay. So, but it's like they were not expecting you to just slip under their sleeve, go into their heart, and just like explode. There's something that exploded. Like, their heart has exploded in a good way. Okay, close out the reading. Okay. So the first card that came out was rally and support, no matter the skin color, but that's in reverse. somebody is not happy with, if you have dealt with some form of racism or somebody or some sort of like being, like I said earlier, being blacklisted or blackballed, this person or these people, they're not happy about that, like at all. You are experiencing the love of a high-ranking earth angel. Don't anger them. Yeah. I feel like you're the earth angel, whoever you are. Be upset all you want. I'm not quitting on us. I'll fight anyone for you. Yeah. this person, okay, I'm not laughing at this person, right? But the way I'm seeing this, there's a sense of somebody is overly protecting you, right? Like, and I keep emphasizing, or my mind keeps emphasizing on the word bulletproof, bulletproof. It's giving me somebody protecting you from a lot of spiritual bullets. Okay, this person's highly spiritual, but they're making you in the spiritual realm bulletproof. And I feel like you're gonna get proof of this. Okay. One more card. Like nobody. Like when I say nobody's touching you, no one is touching you. Okay? Always be compassionate to the ones with spiritual blood on their hands. No amount of soap can wipe off. I feel like this person is protecting you from that. Like they're trying to protect you from many, like the spiritual forms of guilt, anguish, like, yeah. If this person could, they would hug you. And somebody also knows that one hug from you can be very healing. It's like man, there was a movie. There's a Christian-based movie that I saw, which I'm not sure if it was based on a true story, but it was a girl who believed in miracles. I believe that's the name of the movie. But she can touch anyone. Didn't matter the disease, didn't matter and she could heal them on the spot, right? And so towards the end, she talks about how, well, she goes through this whole, like, she's pretty much laid out and she stops breathing. She dies, right? Oh man, which comes back to the 12-year-old girl. Okay, anyway, so she stops breathing and, everybody was like really sad. And what she would do is she would paint pictures. And as she was painting pictures, she painted everything. She painted from when the storm was going to happen. She painted her friend being healed from being in a wheelchair. She drew out, she drew these things out, right? And all you saw was the last picture, right, of her. But then her brother went searching and he saw another picture she painted where she was surrounded by friends and family. And when he saw that, he showed it to everybody and she arose, right? And she told her mom that God let me stay a little while longer because you needed me, right? Because something like she needed her, and it was like the family needed her. So I don't know how this comes in to play for you, okay? But there's something about the final picture of your drawing, whatever you're drawing, however you're drawing it could be spiritually, that allows you to know that it's not, like, something is not over yet. Yes, something has to die. Yes, you have to release and let go and fall asleep to the limiting beliefs you have given yourself because you have not received the amount of appreciation or value from what appears to be like from the world. But when you arise, you are going to wake up like, even if you just, like, as an example, if it's just tonight, right, you go to sleep. When you wake up in the morning, you're going to be a completely different person in a good way, right? You're not going to lose any memory. You're not going to, nothing's going to drastically happen to you. Like you catch a heart attack and that's it, right? And then you get revived. But you're going to wake up knowing, like, okay, I've got some things to do, but in a good way. I hope that makes sense. Okay, part 1, that's your reading. Bye. Okay, hey, part 2. Okay, so your reading that I wrote, like, some notes for, it says someone is realizing their worst move was trying to come up against you. And the end result is endless towers for them and good, great, exceptional karma for you. All right, so let's get started on the reading. So the first card is a military card in reverse. It says you made the right decision for yourself as well as others that were involved, but that's in reverse. And I'm going to lay out the cards, but in the beginning, it was like two separate energies. So whoever this is that realizes they made the wrong decision, that's not you. I think this was the person coming, I believe this was the person coming up against you, okay? Next card is a love confession is coming your way today. Be prepared, but that's in reverse. Third card is these two countries being allies is your financier's best move. I mean, I don't know who I'm talking to, but somebody got a financier, you know? And the next card is needle in a time stack. And the next owl card is, well, it's my typical owl, true owl, is you are irresistible and charming. Use it to your advantage. And then the next owl card is many sacrifices, many secrets, many regrets, but no one loves the way you do. That's in reverse, okay? Next card is you are destined to build this empire. So stop thinking at a franchise level. Connectivity and expertise is key here. That's in reverse. Next card is you are the light in the dark. Yeah, babe, it's a yes. Second to last card is experience is life-saving. Talk about 24 minutes. And the last card is happiness, joy, and everything and one you've ever wanted. Manifestations and blessings. Really good karma. Now, the two cards clarifying the person in the beginning is this queen is on a rampage. Use it to your advantage. It's lucrative. It makes a statement. Apply pressure. Push buttons. Make a scene. They'll catch on checkmate, but that's in reverse, right? So, and the last card is love for the greater good requires the loss of many great loves. That's in reverse. Okay, so this is how I see it, right? Somebody was strategizing on a way to come against you in such a way it either delayed you, stagnated you, or got you put out of something. I'm going to say it could be like laid off, fired, right? And they could have come together with another person. But what I saw in my mind as I was meditating on your pile, it's like one person who wanted control and power over you, right? And the minute word got around that this person wanted to like sabotage or steal you or stagnate you in some form, like way, shape, and form, all I saw was like a country worth of an army, right? An army's country coming up against this one person. And it's like they knew they did not stand a chance. All to the point they are now asking themselves, not because of guilt or shame, mind you. This is out of pure hate and pure towers, okay? This is karma hitting this person back to back to back. It's to the point now where they're asking themselves, did they make the right decision? And even themselves are telling them, no, you did not, right? So somebody, you are supposed to be somebody's lesson or people or a group of people that wanted to come against you. You are their lesson that you don't pick on somebody just because you feel you can, okay? This is someone who can be spiteful. They look at a person and they think to themselves, if they want to target that person, they can. This is also somebody that does not have a sense of control anywhere else. So it's a lot of misdirection happening, right? Somebody will go to work, they have no control over anything. Somebody's over towering them, right? Always looking over their shoulder, making sure that they do something correctly. And if they don't do it correctly, they got to do it better. Like, it's just like pure scrutiny, right? And let's say they go from work to home. And at home, they have no control over anything. They don't have control over, let's say, their family dynamic, their spouse, their kids, whatever, or the lack thereof, right? And it's like there's no control. They have no control over that. And then let's say when they go to social gatherings and let's say when they hang out with friends, they have no control. So it's like this person looked at you with a sense of, I'm going to target this person. And they're not realizing that they targeted the wrong one, okay? Because they wanted to have control over you to the point it was like they were willing to do anything to sabotage you. But when they see what's coming up against them because they chose to go up against you, now they're questioning. Like, oh, did I make the right choice? Should I have done that? And it's just like, no, you shouldn't have done that, right? This is clearly what I'm seeing here, okay? So let's clarify the beginning set of cards. I need you to know that you mean so much to me. Okay. Do you know why this person is very spiteful towards you? It's because they see the way others respond to you. Okay? Let's say You're somebody who walks into the room and unbeknownst to you, you're controlling the whole room with your energy. But you just see it as walking into the room, trying to get something, trying to do something, trying to make sure things get done. This person does not see that, okay? They see it as you come in, you think that you can just run everything, and how is it you're running everything so effortlessly, and why do you think, you know what, I want that person's power, right? But it's like, this is equivalent to wishing to be somebody else. I will not ever wish to be somebody else, and I pray that the person or people watching me don't ever wish to be someone else, because you have no idea what that person has gone through in order to get into that position. If a person walks in, they're peaceful, they're charming, they're charismatic, they had a lot of things going on before they became that person. So somebody looks at you with a sense of, I'm going to say confused admiration, right? But it's admiration to the point it's borderline hate. Like somebody cannot, I'm getting like a lot of nitpicking. Like they look at you and they think, oh, well, how come, this is like this, and why is this like that? Because they want to control something. I would say, have sympathy for this person, because I feel, or not sympathy, right? You don't have to sympathize, but you can be compassionate, because this person, like, the fact that all these love cards are in reverse, you can pretty much tell their day to day, right? So let's clarify one more card. It's like this person, they want to admire you, they want to respect you, they want to leave you be, but they don't know how to. Okay? This is not something that was taught. Compassion is not something that was taught to them. Consideration is not something that was taught. It was either you come in, get the job done, or you don't, right? There's no in-betweens with this person. But you're showing this person there are in-betweens. And yes, you can be compassionate. And yes, you can get the job done. And you can have a smile on your face while you're doing the job. This person does not understand that, okay? So, you have got book smart wolves smiling from ear to ear. I feel like you got book smart wolves smiling from ear to ear. But I feel like with this person comes in and they try to do what you do, and they're kind of like, okay, I feel like also, whoever the spiteful person is, they look at you and they feel like they can be you without having to go through the sacrifices. Or I can do everything this person does without having to go through the regrets. Or I can do everything this person does without having to sacrifice as much as they did. And they're realizing, no, you cannot. These book smart wolves are realizing, no, you cannot. Like, somebody needs to, I'm hearing know your place, right? So somebody is realizing that they should have known their place, or they need to know their place. Okay, so let's see. These two countries being allies is your financier's best move. You are the light in the dark, yeah, baby. It's a yes. Meditate on Shiva today. And when I created this card, it was like the knowledge of self, right? Like go within yourself and meditate on the I want to say God frequency, because I don't want to say God energy, right? But the God frequency that resides within you, because believe it or not, yes, we are all one body, one consciousness, but you attune to a certain frequency where once you attune to that frequency, you can pretty much unlock and unleash anything, right? It's like that is your innermost God power. So Spirit, Universe, Source, God wants you to discover or rediscover the God in you, because that's where the power lies, okay? That's where the true wealth is, okay? You can have external wealth, but there's something about matching the wealthiest parts of your soul with to align it with your external wealth. And somebody's ex could be a financier. I don't know why I had to say that, but give me on my card. You know, love, it costs nothing to say you're sorry. But that's in reverse. I feel like somebody thinks you owe them an apology when in actuality, they owe you an apology. And somebody's thinking like, Somebody's thinking you're going to go within, because here's the thing, right? And this is the level of maturity that you're on. It's no problem for you to go within and say sorry to that person, because you know in saying sorry to that person and you forgive that person, you're saying sorry and I forgive you to yourself. Okay? Because all we're dealing with is mere reflections of ourselves. We're either dealing with the shadow aspects or we're dealing with the ascended aspects of ourselves every single day in human form. Doesn't matter how it appears or how it looks. Okay. So it would be nothing for you to go on the inside and say, hey, you know, this part, reflection of myself, this part of consciousness that belongs to me is a reflection of me, shadow aspect, ascended aspect. I'm sorry, I forgive you. Thank you for forgiving me too, right? Like Ho'oponopono, like the meditation for forgiveness, right? But this person is under the impression that you're going to go in, and as soon as you go in, it's like, after everything they've done to you or everything they try to put you through, you're the one that should be apologizing to them. Like, what's going on here? This person is no saint, no angel, but avoids devils with their good heart. That's why you like them, appreciate their authenticity. Somebody thinks you're not who you say you are, or you're not who you show the world to be. So somebody thinks you're putting up this facade. Oh, you can't be as nice, you can't be as loving, you can't be as caring. And it's like, there's no way. And when I see countries, I think about like the heart and the mind. Somebody does not believe you have a heart and mind coherence, or you don't see the world the way you say you see the world. You know what I mean? And really, what's happening here is projection. Whatever shadow aspects they have not dealt with themselves, they're looking at you and they're projecting all the work that they have not done, or they're trying to project it onto you. That's not your problem, okay? Like, you have done the work. You've put in the time. You've made the many sacrifices. You've sacrificed practically your whole life, for your whole life, in order to get to where you are. And this person cannot believe that. And the reason they cannot believe that is they cannot even fathom the thought of doing that for themselves. Okay? But remember, the reason you have to have compassion is because if you're coming across a person like that, that is a shadow aspect of yourself that needs to be healed within. Okay? So this person is appearing, and I'm thinking this person is not going to appear for long. I think they just popped up into your external world, is to let you know, like, there's a little bit of residue, but once you clear this spiritual residue within, you probably won't see this person ever again. I can promise you that. Okay, so let's go into needle in the time stack, and experience is life-saving. So what flew out and came to the first section was third party and false twin flames alert. Now, I'm going to try to convey as best as possible what's happening with this person. There is something happening in their love life, okay? This person, when they walk through the door and they have to see their spouse, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whomever it is, they're not happy, okay? And there are very deep levels of resentment. And I don't know how this person came across you, but seeing you, or having to see you, or having seen you every day, or the way that they saw you, it was like a constant reminder to them how unhappy they were. And they wanted whatever you had that was bringing you happiness or joy. They wanted to shift that, or they wanted to take that away from you. Because it's not a cliche when people say misery loves company. A very miserable person will do everything in their power to make sure that you are miserable too, if not more miserable than them. And when it comes to people like that, the fastest way to transmute that energy on that level of projection is to send them love and light. You continue to be the light in the darkness, and you tend to attract a lot of people that are dealing with shadow aspects of themselves because you are the light, right? So, life-saving. This person feels as though, because the 24 minutes is like, like a white underbelly when the person who was known to be a prostitute was she had to fight for her life against somebody who was like retired military because he felt like she shouldn't be alive because of the mere fact that she was a prostitute. Somebody has this is a very weird idea about you, and I'm trying to figure out why this person is perceiving you as such. Like somebody views you as point blank period a prostitute that doesn't deserve to live. You don't have to be a prostitute. You don't have to be somebody who, like, all these assumptions that this person is thinking, right? But somebody has you in, or is trying to put you in this loop, because Needle in the Time Stack talks about like a person who was well off that was shifting the time frame between two divine counterparts because he wanted to be with that person, and the person had to go all the way back in time in order to tell this person that was shifting in the present time. He had to go back in the past to let him know, you don't have to take over the Father's company in order to be happy. Like, we really genuinely care about you. So this is why I say that somebody is trying to shift, right, roles, or they're trying to shift the energy of your relationship dynamic, because this feels like somebody wants you to experience the level of misery and pain they feel even though they're married. Okay, so, but what this person is not realizing is they're in a third party situation. This is not even their actual divine counterpart. Do you think, and I think about that a lot of the times, right? Do you think God would put you in a situation where you are completely unhappy, completely miserable, and that's your for better or for worse? Like, at some point in time, you had to have bypassed your intuition. Okay? Now, I understand some people are meant to play out some karmic roles, and there's some karmic debt to clear from many lifetimes or even from this one. But do you think, even after that debt is cleared, that you are just supposed to live a life of just misery and having an estranged spouse? Like, to me, this is weird, because somebody is literally taking out their frustration on you because they're not happy in their own relationship. So, clarify this, sir. Yeah. So the card that came out is decree, declare, and demand how your day is going to go, honey. So completely disallow this person to ever mess with you, your energy, your life, and everything in between ever again. And that's how you solve this equation. Okay? Because this person has been bringing, or is trying to bring, so much problems to you, not realizing like you're the master key, like you're the super solution for all problems, especially if it's being projected. They're not even your real problems. So give me these two. Okay. In order to appreciate the land, understand its roots. Don't build yet. Something has to be dug up first. Charming. You're irresistible, you're charming, use it to your advantage, you're good karma. That's your good karma. Like, somebody's not realizing, like, everything that you have, your beautiful love life, your beautiful life, that's your good karma because you did the work. Because you made the sacrifices. Because you allowed yourself to be isolated while everybody else, excuse me, I got tongue tied. While everybody else was in relationships just to say, like, you are not a for show person, right? You are not a keeping up with the Joneses person. Oh, look what I got. Look what I have. Look who I'm with. You're not that person. This person chose a life to be that person. And they're upset with you because you get to be free and happy because you knew what it required, right? Like, this is ridiculous. So there isn't a time lapse this person won't follow you. Again. You know what? I absolutely commend you for knowing exactly who you are, understanding exactly the life you want to have, the partner you want to be with, and even if you are finding yourself clearing out your own debt and creating good karma for yourself through what you do, your acts of service, your partner, right? I tip my hat to you because it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of bravery to stand by your decisions. Even if a person is looking at you like, oh, I don't see how you would do that. I don't see how you can be with that person. I don't see how you can work here. It's none of their business. Okay? I find myself getting passionate and I gotta tone it down. But it's none of their business. You decree, declare, demand, and disallow. Okay? Close out the reading. Do everything in your power to protect those eyes. Recognition and reward. Somebody don't want to give you your credit, okay? But you're going to get your credit anyway. Build in the Carolinas, but that's in reverse. So South Carolina, North Carolina could be significant. Or this person could have some ties with South and North Carolina. But it's in reverse. Like wherever this person is building or whatever this person has built, whether it be geographically or whether it be their reputation, what have you, doesn't matter. Their home, their sense of self-worth, stay away from it. Okay? I'm gonna tell you right now, if you even step foot or if you even energetically allow yourself or your presence to merge with this person, it's not gonna be good. Because they're gonna want to switch and project a lot of things onto you. It's not your problem. Okay? On my card. This heart beats all over the world for you. That's in reverse. And I can say it like, I don't want to say this person like heart. This person's heart could drop in fear, right? If you ever come to a point where it's just like, you tell this person how you feel or you say nothing at all and this person already knows how you feel, this person's heart's gonna like sink. Like, oh my God, like, because this person cannot understand what you do, how you do it, and the way you figured them out. So you're gonna stop somebody right in their tracks. Like, I see what you're trying to do. I know what I know your approach. I know your pattern. I know your games. It's not gonna work anymore. And this person's gonna freak out and they're gonna flip out. But by the time they do that, you're nowhere near. Okay, Pile 2, that's your reading. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. Let's get started on your reading. So your message here is confused admiration, go further, okay? First card is the Alchemy card. Transmute your hate and resentment into forgiveness. You are most welcome. The second card, this is the Deception card. Quality over quantity. Third parties and misinformation. Relationships set up and traps. The third card is the Guidance card. Everyone is rich until you put that paper underwater and those deeds in some fire. Ooh. Fourth card is in an alternate universe, they are alive and waiting for you to figure it out. The fifth card is the Knowledge card in reverse. Meditate on a Hindu goddess of wealth today. And first card, second row, person has a lot of options. The second card is a Universal Love card. If only you knew the level to which this person admires you, you have no idea, okay? And the next card is another Universal Love card. It says, you control my tempo and you can run my show, Musician in Love. And do you know how loved and adored you are, right? And the last card is Element of Soul Required, but that's in reverse. All right. So I feel like you are someone who operates from the highest level of potential, the highest self in human form, right? And you have your multidimensional higher self waiting for you to align with that reality version of yourself. So I'm gonna say that to say something's not done. Something's not quite done. Like this, like your level of ascension and the way you're going to transform something or align with the highest version of yourself on a multi-dimensional level, it's like you're right there, like on a precipice. Okay. So let's see. Transmute your hate and resentment into forgiveness. You're most welcome. Person has a lot of options. I mean, I don't think this is you. I think you're inquiring about something or someone. But what's this hate and resentment into forgiveness? You're most welcome. Clarify this. Well, talk about the master that came to Jesus and asked about eternal life. Give up everything you have for a higher position. Okay. So you're dealing with somebody who is the master of their craft or one of the masters of their craft. Masters could be significant too, because I'm thinking about musician. Having your masters, owning your masters. Like, what is higher than the owner, right? God has expanded their lifespan so they can stay and love you a little longer. Okay. House of Bliss forever. You know what I think about? Like, this card made me think about House of Bliss. This is my Egyptian card. That's my Ma'at card. But you know, I'm also thinking about Hatshepsut. So in the Egyptian mythologies, sometimes in the hieroglyphics, she appeared as though she were a man, right? But it was really a woman. So there's something about the way you can embody, or the way you just balance out your masculine and your feminine. Like, you know when to use your masculine, or when to bring out more of your masculine side, and then you know when to be like soft and feminine. It's something like that. But in regards to this, right? God has expanded their life. And it's interesting because God has expanded their lifespan, right? And then you have the good master that's coming to Jesus, the certain master, I'm sorry, that comes to Jesus and says, "Oh, good master," right? And I always think about that has to be like, that guy had to have been mocking Jesus, because at some point in time it was like, "Oh, good master, give me the answer to eternal life." You know, I'm paraphrasing, but so then Jesus says, "What makes you think I'm good?" Right? So this is giving me like somebody could be asking you, or somebody looks to you for the answer of their next move, because there's something about you that's like well reciprocated to the world. Okay, so the world receives you in such a way, this person, even though they have mastered the craft of whatever it is that they have mastered, they still look to you for some form of guidance. And I can't understand why transmute hate and resentment is here, unless this is somebody who has maybe, I'm going to say, broken your heart, or has done something to reach higher positions. Because it has a lot of options. You know, this person can have a plethora of options. But why would you hate a person that has a plethora of options if they use that to an advantage of hurting you in some way, shape, or form? That's what I'm getting here, right? So somebody's coming to you for guidance and you're answering them, but I feel like you're answering them from a space of resentment. It's just like, "Oh, you just want another check. Oh, you just want another, all right, this is what you do. Okay, bye, get out of my face." Like, something like that, right? It's not to be mean, but it's very like straight to the point energy. What's going on here? Breathe and realize it's not that deep, but that's in reverse. So something is that deep. Okay, so this person hurt you in some way, shape, or form. Okay? But at the same time of this person hurting you in some way, shape, or form, and using you as a guidance, it's like also asking God for more time. And if I feel like, and I'm zooming in on quality over quantity, third parties, and misinformation, I feel like the way you love, it's like you have the power to love the multiverse. I'm not even going to say the world. I feel like you've already loved the world, right? But you have the power to love the multiverse. And it's just like, when it comes to this person, you're just looking at them like, ugh! Like, there's something that gets you very, 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 very upset. Who is this? Who's this person to talk to? Okay, what does the concept "let there be light" mean to you? That's in reverse, and this is also a military card. So this is either somebody who put you in a really dark space for a very long time with little love to give you. It's like having the capacity to love the multiverse, right? And it's like being with somebody who you feel is like, at some point of your life, was just like a black hole. They were just sucking everything up, sucking it, right? Sucking all of your love up. So by the time that they come to you and they genuinely need your help and guidance, you're looking at them like, just another, like, I wanted to cuss, but it was like, oh, just another business deal. This is just another business deal for you, or this is just another way of, oh, getting more power. Yeah, 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 whatever. You know what? Just do this. Get out of my face. Like, there's something like that here, and I feel like your spiritual team is letting you know, if you can transmute that hate and resentment, the way, well, you should have seen the way the cards shuffled out. The way this works out, not just for you, but for this person who is coming to you, it's like something gets extended. It's like the way, despite everything you've been through, right? The way you have the capacity to love, even the person that put you in some of the darkest positions and places, it's like it'll even inspire the heavens, you know? Ordinary could be significant too, like the song Ordinary. And I think maybe that's what the multi-dimensional higher version of yourself is telling you, right? It's like in answering this person's question from a space of love and forgiveness, it's like you answer your own question on how to ascend to the highest form. Because this kind of power this is something that's not given to the masses, but is given to one person to distribute to the masses. Like, this is what I'm feeling, okay? So let's see this. God has expanded their lifespan so they can stay and love you a little longer. You can know that. You can know that somebody's life is literally in your hands. Like, you have the power to give them 10 more years on top of their actual due date. Like, there's something like that. Okay, so God has expanded their lifespan. Clarify that. Well, that fell on the floor. I'm not taking that. I regret. So the card that came out was a decision maker. Yeah, I felt it. Because this is like, you know, this is way too much power for some ordinary person to have. So the decision maker card came out, and it says, I regret the things that I said to you. Can you ever forgive me? And this is upright. This person is single. Maybe you were with this person and then I want to say, well, why did I want to say divorce them? You were with this person and then you broke up with them or you divorced them. And it's kind of like, Okay, so here's what I'm getting, right? You've given this person a lot of chances. I see where this resentment is coming from. You've given this person a lot of chances, back to back to back to back to back. Okay? Now, on top of giving this person a lot of chances, this is what it feels like. It feels like every time you forgave this person, you started to resent yourself, right? So it's like when you forgive, so every time you forgive this person, you tend to be unforgiving to yourself because something feels like a loop, like the same process over and over and over. Every time you take this person back, they do something shady, they do something really dark, they put you in a dark place for a good amount of time. It's like every single time, and then they come to you for help, and then it's like there's something about the pattern of this that really pisses you off. And the thing is, you have that level of power where you can't just be with anybody, okay? And you don't want to be with just anybody. You know what I mean? But this feels like, can you genuinely forgive a person? Like, can you genuinely forgive this person and forgive this person in such a way where as soon as you forgive this person, rather than being unforgiving to yourself, you forgive yourself just as much, if not more so. I feel like this is the answer to your question, okay? There's something you wanted to know from a spiritual level. This is your answer. All right, so let's see. Quality over quantity. Third parties and misinformation, setups, relationship setups and traps. If only you knew the level to which this person admires you, you have no idea. Why is this? Okay, because this went from being upright to being in reverse. Look, the third parties don't like you. I mean, that's guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like, of course third parties are not going to like a divine counterpart because they're a third party. Of course. Like, that's inevitable, okay? So, tell me about the misinformation, relationship setups, and traps. What's going on here? Well, this is a Nefertari and Ramses the second kind of love. Whoa, okay. Greek could be significant, or Greece can be significant. And then I'm seeing this, like, what do you call that? Is that the sigma? Listen, guys, Roman numerals and Greek symbolisms I know some of, but for some reason my mind only retains that information when I need it. Okay, so other than that, you won't see me spitting out Roman numerals just because. So, or you won't see me spitting out like Greek alphabet just because. Like when it comes to those two, for some reason, when I'm meant to remember it, I'll remember it, and then the information, it just feels like it wipes. Okay, so I think you probably know, but it's the letter that I'm seeing in my mind is E, but the E is backwards. Isn't that sigma? Like, okay, so this is Nefertari and Ramesses the second kind of love. And then on top of that, right, it's like when you think about Ramses II, Nefertari was his favorite wife. Didn't mean he didn't have a plethora of wives, but she was his favorite wife because she had a way, not only just because she had a way with words, but based on what National Geographic and Discovery tells me, and what they allow me to know in human form, is you know, in a lot of ways, she was his wise counsel. Okay, this was someone who he can turn to when it came to anything. I want to say, whoever this is, this person knows that the way you can strategize and have exit strategies for them is out of this world. Okay, this is why they look to you. This is why they turn to you. But they know they've done some, they've done some stuff. Okay, so, and then I'm thinking about that moment in the documentary when Ramses had lost the war, but he made everybody write in, hieroglyphs that he actually won, and then later on he won. This gives me like that. This gives me like a level of royalty, and then it gives me like a level of delusion in order to manifest what he wanted, because technically he won. Okay, so why is this reversed though? Because it's like set up in traps. I always find, right, that like, didn't Nefertari die before Ramses II? Like, well, I have my suspicions, but I'm not gonna go into that. So you needed the darkness to appreciate the sun. Shine, baby, shine. Yeah. So illumination, love, the contrast between the two, something like. And then it's making me think, don't believe everything you hear. Like, there is a lot of truth to a lot of the scandals that have gone down. But it's like, there are some things you have to rely on your better judgment, right? Like, I feel like I'm talking to someone who is a reincarnation of Hatshepsut. Like, there's a direct link to the Queen Hatshepsut. Like, I feel like I'm talking to that person, right? So sometimes it's like you gotta tune out the external noise, and you have to use the light from within. I feel like you think your life, life, oof. But you think the light of your life sometimes gets snuffed out by this person. It's like the minute you attune to it, just an inch of illumination, it's like it gets snuffed out. But you know what the beauty is about the sun, right? It's like I heard the other day, just because the clouds cover the sun, it does not make a person believe less in the sun and its many effects. All right, so maybe something clouded you, okay? Maybe something or someone clouded your vision. Maybe they tried to block out your sense of illumination. But the sun knows its power, and the sun knows after those clouds pass, it can shine as bright as it wants to shine. I feel like you have to know that, right? Like, despite what information you're given, despite who tries to set you up, there's a sun residing within you that's gonna illuminate and disintegrate whatever it needs to. I feel like I have to tell you that. Okay, clarify this. You needed the darkness to appreciate the sun. Shine, baby, shine. Okay. You have completely changed this person's life for the better, and they want to thank you in person? No, that's in reverse. Who is this person? Oh, another person. This is somebody who, okay, so the decision maker card came out, right? But it's reversed. So somebody fell from grace here, right? And they feel like you're the reason their life is in shambles, or you're the reason like certain things happen. I don't feel like this is the person you're supposed to transmute for. I feel the person you were supposed to transmute for was probably either somebody you're married to, or you were married to, separated from, or divorced from. But this is another person here. Can you tell me about this person, please? Okay, what's going on? Well, that was kinky in reverse. When I see Egyptian cards, illumination, shine, regret, and these cards coming up in reverse, I tend not to get too deep because I don't want to go down anybody's rabbit hole. But there is something like this person feels like you took their life via sexual energy, or the lack thereof. All right, one more card and then I'm moving forward because I'm not about to do this. In this circumstance, it's your heart that can overpower harsh logic. The greatest power move I believe you can make is operating from a space where you are showcasing the highest form of love possible. Quantity over quality is not for you. Quality over quantity, that is you, okay? I think sometimes we just need to remember. We need to remember who we are, and sometimes it takes a different pair of eyes, right? So let's see. Everyone is rich until you put that people in the water, and those deeds is on fire. You control the tempo. Yeah. I also want to say, maybe you got a musician by the balls in regards to accents. Okay, sorry. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. Always remember, you are someone's dream partner in life. Somebody is still seeing the dream, right? They're still seeing the dream of what could be. Man, if we just move past this, it could be. Man, if we just got over this, it could be. Right? Is this you? I believe it's you. But I believe it's somebody else too. They're looking at it from a sense of if we could just, right? If we could just get past that. If we could just jump over that. If we could just remove that obstacle. Something like that. Because there's a lot of assets here. So maybe in the process of going through the divorce, it's somebody knows you have the power to just take everything, ruin them, give everything they own back to them, all their assets, and you would completely, even in giving back all their assets, you can completely wipe them out financially. So I feel like somebody knows this, okay? But good thing you are operating, or you're going to operate from a sense of love. And I feel like, let's say, I want to say a billionaire, right? Let's say you are, your partner is worth billions of dollars, right? And you know for a fact, giving them back everything they own, all of what you know, and without your wise counsel, you know all that's just going to go to shit, right? And I don't know why I had to say it like that, because I don't like to cuss in my readings, and sometimes I get passionate, but all of that's going to go down the drain, right? You know this. But you still remember the time when you fell in love. Okay, sorry. You still remember the time when literally you fell in love with this person and you thought, man, it would be so beautiful if we just built empires together. And you did. You built empires. And oh man, it would be so beautiful if we built more foundations from the ground up. And you did. Some part of you is still there, right? I think you know that, But it's hard to see through all the darkness and the clouds and the dark days, years, months. That's like, this, okay? You know that you're still somebody's dream partner. You're still somebody's dream life, despite everything you've been through and despite what you've done to others. You know this, okay? You just need a reminder sometimes. And it's okay. Because as a musician, like, I imagine you get so filled with like fan love. Everybody loves you. You're the best in sliced bread. Oh, they love your music. They cry, they faint, they scream. But it's like you receive so much of it at a grand scale that sometimes you start to wonder, like, is this shit real? Like, or is this just like a perception or idea that I had? And like, you think about that, okay? And it's like, with the love the world shows you, it's because of the light that you operate in and the very dark days that you had to still operate in. But you wonder if any of it's real. And it is, because if it's mere perception, that's your perception of the world, of how much love should be given to you, then you are filled with the same amount, if not more, right? And it's not fake, right? Sometimes you genuinely, as especially as musicians, right? They genuinely touch people's hearts to the point it's like it's incentive. You want to live again, you want to breathe again, you want to be the best version of yourself. And all it took was you singing, some music composers, you having an idea, you writing a song, you getting people together in the same industry and saying, hey, what if you did this? What if you mixed this? What if you came in with this instrument and then you came in with this orchestra? And what if we raise it to here and then lower it down, raise it back, lower it down? Like, you have no idea. Just by even showcasing. And I know a lot of people don't like genius with musicians. They don't like the word genius with musicians. But just operating from that level of genius can save somebody's life, or can take somebody from the darkest depths of their world into illumination. Like, you have to be reminded that it's not fake. This amount of love, this level of, it's not fake. These levels, multi-dimensional levels of the highest version of yourself, it's not fake, okay? This is a long read. Okay. Sometimes the best thing to do is close both eyes so that you can open a very important one. Yeah. It's true. I feel like this is what I've been telling you to do since the beginning of the read. You have very powerful intuitions. Just, I feel like sometimes you get hit. Like, you get hit at a mass level with so much that it's hard to believe that all you need to do is just be 5 minutes in a room, no entourage, and just tune to yourself, tune into yourself. Clear out the clutter, the mental clutter, the noise, the conversations, because you are connected on a different level, right? From a telepathic standpoint, and just tune out, right? And go to yourself, like, hey, self, what happened? In an alternate universe, they're alive and waiting for you to figure it out. Do you know how loved and adored you are? I feel like this is you talking to you. Okay? This is like, I feel like this is the wake-up message. Like, the highest version of yourself. You think you can't get any higher than this? Nope. Right? The highest version of yourself is like, do you know how loved and adored you are? Like, this highest version of yourself is waiting for you. Right? And aren't we all like, isn't that the journey, right? Isn't that the point of experiencing life and taking the steps the way we do and the professions the way we do and having a mass impact the way we do? Isn't it just to get back home to ourselves? Whatever you think you have lost, you didn't. Okay? Now, let's see. Clap like some cards, please. Look at this. The card that came out was, those who bathe in water change clothes. Those who bathe in blood change history. And that's a saying in India. India could be significant to you, or Goa, India. Those who bathe you. You have to know everything that you've done, everything that you've been through, everything that you've had to do, nothing went in vain. This is how you made history, and this is how your soul agreed to make history, okay? And if you're coming from a direct line or a lineage of Hatshepsut, oh man. Could you imagine the moves she had to make that were not put down in history in order for her to be who she was or considered who she was today? You know what I mean? Like, the decisions that you make behind closed doors, you know, the decisions that the world, many parts of the world, if not the whole world in itself, may never see. That's what makes you who you are. Okay? Element of soul reversed, and meditate on the goddess of wealth today. No need to meditate on the goddess of wealth. I feel like I am talking to a reincarnation of the goddess of wealth. Hatshepsut, was she not wealthy? Lakshmi, was she not wealthy? And these are our different perceptions. Our humans forms many perceptions of wealth, right? Were they not wealthy beings? So it's like, don't meditate on wealth when you are the epitome of wealth itself. Or epitome. Epitome. Okay, let's see. Time to back their attitude into a corner until they calm down. Woo! They will be left behind. They couldn't see your worth. It's too late now. Who is this? Like, this person from the beginning? No, this is a person with absolutely no soul. Well, something about clothes is significant. What's going on here? Who is this person? I stare at your pictures all day. The best part of my life is you. This is a decision maker, yet another decision maker. Is this the same decision maker as the one we saw in the beginning? No. Ugh, man. I don't envy your life. This is a lot of suitors. This is a lot of high profiles on the board here. You have to be somebody for the public. And I'm getting like Marilyn Monroe, you know, it's like that iconic beauty. It's something about blonde hair too. I don't know why I'm fixating on the blonde hair. And it's like that Marilyn Monroe photo, right? Where it's like black and white, but you know it's blonde hair, and you know she has like makeup on and something like that. Like, and I can take it like that. Like, no matter how a person tries to filter you or make it seem like it's black and white, you appreciate the depths of the gray, right? The gray has the contrast, and the gray has beauty in itself too. Okay, so best part of my life is you. This is the decision maker who element of soul required. But that's not hers. They do not move forward unless they get permission from you and their team. But that's in reverse. So here's what I'm getting, right? Without getting too deep, because once I saw musician, I was just like, don't, stretch but so far. So, all right. Somebody's reminiscing about the past of being with you, and they couldn't see your worth, but they do now, right? But it's interesting how this person can see your worth when you have obtained the knowledge and answers and information needed, and you do the work to reach the highest level of yourself. And I don't see this as death, right? I don't see this as like a physical death, but I feel like this is an ascension where it's just like, who gets to ascend this high in human form? You know what I mean? So this person sees that and it's just like, man, if only I would have. Like, this is like, I could have waited. If only I could have waited, right? They're thinking back to the time when, if I could have just given her, or him, I don't know why I said her. Oh, because Hatshepsut. Okay, if I'd have just given her like a good 5 years or more, or 10 years more of an investment, man, we would have been unstoppable, right? There's something like that here. If I would have just given this person is wishing they would have given you more time. And it's like more time to prove yourself, but for what? It's like you don't even have to prove yourself to this person anymore. And I don't think this is somebody you've been married to. I don't think this is somebody, it's like, you probably wanted a chance with this person at some point in time. Like, oh man, this would be a great move if I could be with, this decision maker of the world. And this decision maker of the world, knowing how powerful you were, probably overlooked you. Like, yeah, no, I'm okay, I'm good. And now it's like a regret here. Like, man, if only I would have if I had just taken the opportunity. Too bad, too late. Go love reading. Well, deprogram and rebuke. Whoa. Sorry. It says deprogram and reboot. Oh gosh, what's going on with my words? Okay, sorry. Deprogram and reboot. It will work this time. That's in reverse. Why is that in reverse? Deprogram. Thank you for finding the needles in the haystacks. A bonus is in order. Fate over illusions, vision over fear, boy who dreamt, and saved school and the bomber, right? I'm not gonna lie, guys, this read took a lot of energy. So, you don't need to reprogram someone, right? You don't need to remind them who you are, or like, how do I put this? Like, when you get in, it's like being in a relationship with somebody, right? And they know exactly who you are. It's like you don't need to remind them who you are, okay? This person knows exactly who you are. You don't have to reprogram or fixate on how they treat you. They know how to treat you, okay? So you find something, though. You find the quality of something in someone. And this restores your fate. And it pretty much removes anything you thought was impossible. Or anything like how you operated from a fear base, right? Let's say you were once a multi-billionaire or a multi-millionaire, and you started losing funds because, assets had to be divvied up, and you pretty much were on the brink of losing everything, right? And it's like you find the answer within yourself to get to the highest level of your higher self and shift into your desired reality on a multi-dimensional level. Okay, it's like you go from riches to wealth, and then you go from wealth to what's higher than wealth, right? I feel like, but it was for you to understand that you were the definition of wealth, but now you're going to rise above the definition of your own definition of wealth. Okay, so we think about MNs, BNs, TNs, right? After trillionaires, it's like what, nan millionaires, right? I don't think or is it zillionaire? I mean, I don't know, but you reach a much higher level than you thought simply because of a 4-letter word that is very powerful, and that is the power of love. Okay? You embody that, and you always have to remember that, especially when you have the power to create music, especially when you have the ear, you have the eye, you have the senses, you just have everything it is in order to produce the best of the best. Okay? All right, pile 3. Long, but that's your reading. Bye. Hi, pile 4. Last but not least, honey. All right, so let's get started on your reading. Meditating on your cards, I wrote down, let your feet touch legendary, quote unquote, legendary grounds. And then, of course, like the card, 38-year-old man and Jesus, right? And here was the question that was stated, right? In the book, how it's phrased in the Bible. Jesus asked the man, would you like to get well? The man says, sir, I don't have anyone to put me in the pool when the water stirred. All right. So are you asking, or I should say, are you answering the question you're being asked? Think about what the man said. He doesn't have anybody to put him in the pool when the water stirred. Think about what Jesus asked, the Messiah. Do you want to get well? Right? So let's get into your reading. So the first card is a decision maker card, but that's in reverse. And it says the answer you seek resides in the rock's arch of history. So it's not the arch, the rock's arch. Where is it? Okay. Second card is the military card. What you saw needs to be talked about. There is trauma residing in your body because you need to speak up. The third card is sometimes the best love comes in unsuspecting packages. The fourth card is I'm trying to be your one and only. Side note, person is protective. And the fifth card is best to control the direction of the wind as opposed to the wind itself. All right. Next card is talk about the 38-year-old man and Jesus telling him to walk. And we have get some rest for now. It's been a long time coming. Safe travels are forever ahead, but that's in reverse. Yo, you know I gotta clarify that. And the next card is jump out of the airplane, drive the fastest car home, and be home for dinner before 7. The second to last card is something needs to be asked bluntly without cruelty, right? Trying to be your one and only. I'm trying to be your one and only. Well, all right. And then the last card is my judgment card. It says smoke on it. You decide this person's fatal karma. Okay, so Pal 4, I'm going to tell you what happened, right? I literally thought because the energy was so separated from the other, I literally thought I was addressing 4 men in one pile. Turns out I'm addressing 1 man and the way his mind is operating from unconscious to super subconscious. So let's get started on your reading, okay? So now, from the unconscious perspective, we have the answer you seek resides in the rock's arch of history, but that's in reverse. Talk about the 38-year-old man and Jesus telling him to walk. Now, unconsciously, I took it like this. You could be a decision maker of the world, but you don't feel like that. Like, on an unconscious level, you just feel like, excuse me, you don't have that much power, okay? And the reason why you feel like that is because maybe it's the way you are answering a question on an unconscious level. There's a reason I bought some coffee, because I feel like whoever you are, you and I are about to get some, like, we're about to get real deep, all right? We're about to get in the depths of your mind so you understand why maybe you take a step forward and then you take 2 steps back, and then you take 3 steps forward and then you take 20 steps back. Like, something is happening. There's a push-pull in the mind, okay? So let's see. Well, let's talk about this. The first 2 cards. Okay. Lovers must lie to protect you from the ones they lay down with. Ooh, okay. I can see this as somebody has tried or has protected you from getting hurt. This could be a lover, or lovers is plural. So however you're going to take lovers in this Bible, but unconsciously somebody had to lie to you, right? Or unconsciously you feel like somebody's lying to you, right? Like this feels like you may say to somebody, I love you, right? But unconsciously, if they say, I love you too, you're probably like, how could you possibly love me? Or how could you possibly be in love with me? I don't even love myself. Unconsciously, that's what you're thinking, okay? Now, you could favor yourself. You could like yourself. You could like your aesthetics, how you look, how you move. It's just a certain way to you. But it reminds me of the time, like, when I was dating somebody, and I had told him, I said, I really like your confidence in the way you carry yourself. And you know what he said to me? He said, yeah, he was like, well, I'm glad you like it, but sometimes certain things are just for outside appearances. So it was his way of letting me know that even though he walked, he moved, he carried himself a certain way, that's not how he felt, right? And that's not how he felt all the time. So unconsciously, your perception of yourself, it's like, nah, I don't feel powerful. Nah, I don't feel rich. Nah, I don't feel like I'm meant to be loved. Nah, right? But it's like the inner voice, like the depths of the unconscious is like, well, do you want to get well? Well, do you want to feel like on an unconscious level that you are loved, you are cared for, you are nurtured, you are attractive, you are powerful, you are protected, right? And you're just like, but I don't feel this way. Like, I feel like I could, like, how are you answering yourself on an unconscious level? Okay. And the fact that I have, like, the card that came out was Jesus telling the man that had been laying by the pool to walk. It's like he has to walk. It's kind of like telling you on an unconscious level, you have to rise from these base thoughts, right? You have to look at how you're answering something. And it's like, I feel like you're answering something or you're redirecting a person's question, but unconsciously it's coming from a level of sadness. Okay. So you know me, I'm going to talk about it. Because how else do you heal? Right? If somebody just tells you what's happening and they don't tell you, okay, this is what you need to do, like, how else? I can tell you, oh, you got a cut on your arm, right? But I hope I come off to whoever chooses to listen to me as one of those readers where it's just like, oh, you got a cut on your arm. Let's tend to the wound. Let's fix it. Let's put a band-aid on it. You'll be healing sooner than you think. Like, I hope so. You know what I mean? But I may not always be reciprocated. I may be rough around the edges sometimes, but I hope that's what people get. Okay, so let's see. So what's going on? Unconsciously. All right. Well, that has to do of thy youth. Your beauty will not ever fade, only enhance. Well, there's definitely something with looks here, I can tell you that. So maybe you don't feel, okay, unconsciously it's like a low self-esteem, right? So maybe you don't feel like the most attractive, so you feel like you have to compliment it with like fast cars, spontaneity, double life, like something like that, right? So I think what it is you have to know on an unconscious level is these possessions, these toys, don't make you more attractive. Who you are is what makes you attractive. And I'm not talking about aesthetics, okay? You could be somebody that's tall, dark, and handsome, tall, light skin, and handsome. You could be Team Caramel, don't matter. Like, whoever you are, you have to know that what you possess is not the reason that people look at you and say, oh man, what an amazing guy, right? It's something to you. Maybe you have allowed your ego to override the id, or the super ego to override the ego, which overrides the id. But when you have to know, even when you're honest, laid back, man, what should I do? Should I do this? I don't know if this is possible. Even that, right? The level, which I feel like is a level you don't show, is what makes you attractive. Like, when I was talking to the person I was with at the time, and he admitted to me, he's like, well, it's what I like to show, but it's not really how I feel. It was an honest moment, right? So I'm saying that to tell you, you have to know it's in your honest moments that make you the most attractive, not how tall you can stand, how wide your shoulders go back. Like, that stuff doesn't matter, right? It's you who matters. Okay, unconsciously. Now let's get to the conscious level. What you saw needs to be talked about. There's trauma residing in your body because you need to speak out. And it says, get some rest for now. It's been a long time coming. Safe travels are forever ahead, but that's in reverse. And I had to ask, like, if this was something that was going to happen, and my intuition told me no. So this was something that happened, like, in the past that really had an effect on you. And then it was like permission. It's like you needed permission to leave something. It's like the military card came out, right? I zoned in on the military card and I saw the airplane. You could be somebody that's in the Air Force. You could be military something. AC could be significant. Not like air conditioned, like AC, like, one of those cargo planes could be significant. But here's what I was thinking, right? So that card came out and it was like permission. There was something about permission to leave. Like, you did not have permission to leave, right? And when you should have had the permission to leave or the clearance to leave, and whatever happened, whether you were on a physical plane or like something almost cost you your life, right? Like that's what I got from that energy. And it was kind of like, and it felt like it had to do with a little bit of everything, like a little bit of who you are, a little bit of the color, like from who you are to the color of your skin. Like somebody felt like you shouldn't have left, or you shouldn't have had a certain privilege or power because of who you are, and they were judging off of looks. But I feel like because of that trauma, like I see you being on a conscious level very protective of yourself, and you do not like when anybody judges your sense of character or your work ethic by the color of your skin, even if they're complimenting you. Like you don't like that, okay? Like it pisses you off because in your mind it's like, don't focus on what I look like, focus on what I can do. Okay, so let's talk about this on a conscious level. Sometimes you gotta throw caution to the wind and just face your fears. Did somebody push you out of a plane or something? Or did they threaten to push you out of a plane? Like, listen, I'm gonna tell you, there is a certain level of racism you will not ever have to experience again, and there are certain levels of power you will not ever have to succumb to ever again. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that. Now, the card, sometimes you got to throw caution to the wind and face your fears. Because the thing is, you tend, on a conscious level, you tend to move quiet. You tend to be very quiet. You don't allow people to know your moves. So, but even when you move quietly, when you don't speak up, somebody takes that as like a sense of fear. Like you fear not, and maybe that's what happened. Maybe when you spoke up about something or you said something like, hey, X, Y, and Z, because that person was in a position of power, they looked at you like, oh, well, I'll keep you on this plane, or I'll take you off of this plane whenever I want to, or something like that. There is something, and because of that, and you feel like because of your opinions, you feel like you can't say too much. You tend to be very quiet because of it. But that moment had to happen, because if that moment didn't happen on a conscious level, you wouldn't be in the position that you are today. Now, how do we heal this? Don't tell me it's over. I want to accept it. I want another chance again. Whoa. Okay, okay. So the cards that came out for this one was, in a world full of birds, be the eagle, stay sharp and listen. Sing something from a higher perspective. How do you heal it? See it from a higher perspective. If this didn't happen, I wouldn't have had this trauma, or I wouldn't have been able to move forward. But in moving forward and realizing that I had trauma, I'm now seeking the help, or I'm seeking the guidance in order to heal it, which allows you to come across people, light vibrational beings, or allows you to come across people in the everyday that their goal on a conscious, unconscious, subconscious, super subconscious level is to heal you, is to allow you to feel like, oh, it is okay. Yes, this happened, it was wrong, but nonetheless release it. Trauma in the body. Like, you ever see what stored trauma looks like? It looks like a lot of pain, looks like a lot of suffering. You can look at a person, and it doesn't matter how fit they appear, you could see like some part of them is either in pain or they feel broken, So, or in physical pain, right? Full of birds. So you could have dealt with like some form of bullying, or I don't know why I want to say hazing, but I want to say hazing, right? But not like sorority, fraternity kind of thing. Like you dealt with a form or level of bullying because you were able to see something from a higher perspective. Like, can you tell me about this crow energy? Because I'm getting a lot of crows. So you're seeing the light. Okay, so as I'm speaking on an unconscious level, you are allowing yourself to see the light in the situation, because what popped out was every time you walk into a room, all they see is divine light, right? So you're unconsciously, you're allowing yourself to look at something and then ascend from it. Well, that's cool. Okay. I still need to know about this crow energy. give me one for this crow energy. Okay, you have to know. Rewrite this. Okay, so the part that came out was rewrite the story, alter the past, then quantum jump. And what I saw, like, as the cards were coming out in my mind, I saw a barn owl, right? This is like the crows, right? But in the middle of all the crows, I saw a barn owl. And it's like, can you imagine a barn owl to a bunch of crows? It's going to stick out like a sore thumb, right? Because of its distinction. So, see, on a conscious level, what you had to go through as a form of having to distinguish yourself from the rest. I'm not saying it was easy. This don't look like easy. This looks like somebody tried to make you conform and do something you knew you wasn't supposed to do. Somebody like put you up as like a scapegoat or something, or tried to make it seem like, oh, well, you know what I mean? So, or you feel like you tend to, sometimes you feel like on a conscious level, you say certain things at the wrong time, and it's just like, oh man, why did I say that? Because now it got me in trouble. But you have to say these things. You know what I mean? Like there is, sometimes there's no other way but to say it. Okay? I want to go back to one of these cards. Don't tell me it's over. Don't tell me it's over. I won't accept it. What's going on here? Because this is giving me like relationship energy. Like, okay, it could be. Whoa. Okay. Go for this card. Invest in more AI operated commercial properties. You know what? This is why some things are just meant to be. So let's see. I can see it like this. This is somebody you were supposed to build with. Maybe you were working or engineering something with, and they wanted more than just a professional relationship. I can see it like that. You said no, or you spoke up about it, or, you know, this is like somebody in a position of power pushing up on you because they know they're higher in rank. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like you respect it, but at the same time, it's like, no, you know, I'm okay. I think I just want to keep this professional. And it just feels like something happened to where it's just like, all right, if somebody backs you into the corner and you're scared, how do you get out of that corner? You're going to do everything in your power to get out of that corner, right? I feel like somebody cornered you because they were just that powerful, okay? And you spoke up and said something, and as soon as you spoke up and you said something about it, you could have been targeted, and so you were put in a position to stay quiet and distinguish yourself from the rest, to the point it had to be shown. It was inevitable why you deserved certain positions, okay? Despite the many positions somebody tried to place you in, no pun intended. So let's see. Sometimes the best love comes in unsuspecting packages. Oh yeah, I wrote a note for this. Let me see. And because of what happened here consciously, you feel like there was some point of some part of your identity that was lost, or you felt like you had to lose a bit of yourself, or you lost a bit of yourself because of what happened. Okay. Now, for the subconscious, don't worry. It's coming full circle. Don't worry. The subconscious, right? The conscious was, almost lost life because you weren't given permission to leave when you should have had clearance, right? And yeah, there's something you were subjected to. Not going into that because I feel like certain things should just not be exposed. It's not everybody's business, you know. Okay, so subconscious, right? It's not your ideal love, but it is the love of your life if you want it. Okay, so sometimes the best love comes in unsuspecting packages. Jump out of the airplane, drive the fastest car home, be home for dinner before 7. You know what I say in previous readings. Whenever this comes out, this is my double life card, right? Somebody who leads a double life. So, subconsciously, you know something. What is this? You know that somebody is the love of your life, but this is on a subconscious level. Turn to the light in order to stop fighting the darkness. Yeah. It's almost like not wanting. You could be very protective over the people that you're with or the people that you have in your life, but like I said, the mind is divided. So the unconscious, I feel like your unconscious mind and your subconscious mind were going at it, right? And your conscious mind was just like the forethought, but it's I'm gonna compare it to people. Like the conscious knew that the unconscious and the subconscious were fighting, and it's like a brutal fist fight. But consciously, like the conscious part of you was like, I'm staying out of this, right? But you would allow the conscious part of you to like take these hits or to take the bruises, just be like, but you would allow those parts of your mind to fight it out, right? And to the point it's feeling like physical trauma, okay? But it's like physical trauma that stemmed from your experiences and the coping mechanisms you took as you went within, right? So stop fighting the darkness. Gotta fall on the floor. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that card. All right. So the card that came out was a military card, and it says no one should dismiss your pain. Don't let them. But that's in it's inverted, so that's yes and no. Okay. So now let's put it from the sense going back to Jesus and the 38-year-old man, right? You are the inner Messiah, the inner voice, and you're also the disabled man, okay? And so you have the power to turn this upright and get well, but first it has to be addressed. Now, in scripture, the reason why I don't know why I was about to say Judas. What the? Okay. The reason why Jesus went to this man of all the people is because he was the saddest man, and he was the man who felt the most insignificant. And I think when these things happen, it's proof that even though unconsciously, consciously, you may feel like the most insignificant man and who's going to listen to me in the world, there is a part of you that reminds you, well, you're not insignificant and I want you to be better. But the question is, do you want to be better, right? So again, like your inner Messiah and your inner man by the pool, they're having a conversation. Now it's time to answer the questions your inner Messiah is asking you. Do you want to get well? Oh, every time I try to get into the pool and the water's stirred, they won't let me through. That's not what your inner Messiah is asking. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not what the inner parts of you that wants to heal or wants to heal you is asking. So pay attention to the way you answer certain questions to yourself. And it's giving me like be gentle. Like, be the kind of gentle with yourself. You know the world can't be with you until you are with yourself. It feels like that. Okay. So let's get to the super subconscious now. Alright, so let's clarify this. I'm trying to be your one and only, so I know a person is protective, House of Bliss, redemption forever. Sometimes something needs to be asked bluntly without cruelty. What's going on here? So you have been hiding something. You've been hiding your feelings, okay? Well, and that's understandable because you are coming from a space of trauma. So if you're hiding your feelings from yourself, it's natural that you're going to hide your feelings for someone else from that person and from yourself also. Okay? Observe the card. So, Theseus and the Minotaur, right? Your mind is this huge labyrinth. But luckily for you, you got some red string. Now, you've got some red string, not only to lead you out of that labyrinth that's impossible to get out of, that nobody has ever survived before, but it's leading you out to the person who, you know, you like, you love, you're protective of, you want to be with, you know what I mean? But the super subconscious. Somebody is redeeming you from the depths of your despair in your unconscious mind all the way to your super subconscious. It's like they're leading you out of the labyrinth, okay? And you have to decide. You have to decide what is, if it's worth it. Because after you defeat the Minotaur, like when I think about it, right? In Greek mythology, when Theseus, depending on the accent, defeats the Minotaur, right? He could have stayed there. He could have just said, yeah, and then bring another Minotaur. But the battle was so long and strenuous, right? That by the time he was done, he had a way out. Like, and I'm telling you this to tell you that the battle that's going on within your minds, it has been long and strenuous. But now that you're at this point where you're defeating those crippling thoughts, I'm going to say, okay? You're defeating those crippling thoughts and those thought forms and those beliefs because of who you are, because of the color of your skin, because of the way you move, because of the way you speak, or the lack thereof. You are now coming out of this, but you're coming out of this with a sense of, okay, you can come out of this understanding your definition of bliss, your definition of redemption, your definition of feeling confident, and there's no voice in the back of your mind like, but I don't have this, or but I'm not this, or but they're not that. Like, that's gone. Okay? And it's gonna come to a point where that's completely wiped out. Doesn't matter who comes to you and tells you, oh, your shoelaces are untied. Right? Not even that, not even any outside projections or outside forces can hinder the way you feel about yourself, because you have already addressed how you feel about yourself on the inside, right? Internally. So, defeat the Minotaur. And it's just like coming out of the wave after wave. And it's also making me think about the song Wave After Wave, slowly drifting away, right? But it's like you're not drifting. You're pulling up against the sea of thoughts, but you're not drifting. You're pulling up against the sea and the waves of thoughts because you do not, whereas you didn't mind toppling over in the past, you don't want to topple the boat, right? And topple the boat meaning you don't want to succumb to those thoughts of that lead into like a deeper depression, okay? So that's a breeze forever. So you have your hand now, where your hand was covered, your hand is being shown, okay? Like you are going to learn that it's okay to show your cards to yourself and address what you consider to be a good hand versus a not so great, but I'll work with it until I get a better hand. Like, you're learning how to do this with your thoughts, okay? House of Bliss Forever Redemption. At a luxury resort. Why do I get so tongue-tied sometimes? I don't know. But at a luxury resort to your portfolio, huge profits. Ugh. And the tampering of this divine union has angered the gods, and as the fate would have it, wrath. Ooh. So somebody allowed you to believe on a subconscious level that you were not good enough, or you are not good enough, be it yourself or what you've been through. You're not good enough to be with somebody or with a person. Doesn't matter how much you have. Doesn't matter what you look like, how you talk, how you move, how you speak. Somebody, can you tell me about this, please? Yeah, this is alchemy. So, phosphorus element needed for this level of alchemy: DNA, RNA, ATP. Yeah. What? Did you home? Did you This can either be taken as an alchemist. Every time you try to, you like on a subconscious level, mustered up the courage to come towards someone or to be with someone, you could have had an alchemist in the background playing like, oh, but you're not good enough. You're not this. You're not that. Like, because to me, this feels like a force outside of you. This feels like a level of alchemy outside of you. Okay, let's go. Give up the ghost or regret will awaits in reverse. Also, I take into consideration, like, when I do these readings, my dialect, right? Or my form of dialogue. And I've noticed, like when I'm picking up on certain energies, like, I don't want to say which pile because I don't, but one of the piles, it was like the person had a lips, right? This pile, I noticed, like, if the person is talking or they feel like they're talking too much or for longer periods of time, they could get to the point where they start to stutter. And I feel like maybe that is something that could have impacted you in a sense of like, you don't talk that much because there's a point where you'll start to stutter if you get like excited or if you get like, passionate about something, you'll really stutter. And I feel like this speech, what you consider to be a speech impediment, really used to, I don't think it's going to, right? But it used to hinder your level of confidence, right? Or maybe you were picked on because you stuttered. And it reminds me, like, I'm thinking of a story because it connects, so it makes sense. But it reminds me of a story where I was working alongside with this guy in college, and he was known in the class for just stuttering, right? And like, he could not say a full sentence. He could not even say half of a sentence without stuttering. And I remember, like, other classmates, they used to make fun of him. It's like, oh, he's stuttering, ha ha ha. Look, he's getting upset. Because when he would get really upset, he'll start to stutter. Like, but he would stutter in such a way where you can, like, he wouldn't get the sentence out, right? I'll just put it like that. So they would laugh at him and stuff like that. And it got to the point where it was like the last project. Nobody would work with him, okay? Because they didn't like the way he stuttered when he presented and what have you, okay? So when he was trying to work with somebody else, he'd be like, oh, do you want to work together? No, I'm okay, and stuff like that. He was getting, like, turned down a lot. So he turned to me, and he didn't even ask, right? He did not even. I'm telling you this because it's going somewhere. So he turned to me. He didn't even ask, right? He wanted to, but he couldn't. And I said, hey, do you want to work together? And he said, yeah, right? And so I wasn't his first choice. Of course, he wanted to work with another guy because he felt like another guy would understand his vision and where he was going and X, Y, and Z. Okay, no problem. So, but I dealt with a lot of that in college. Like, it was predominantly the advertising, marketing, communication, broadcast, predominantly a lot of males. So they tend to look at the females like, no thanks, So it's okay that I wasn't his first pick. I wasn't expecting to be. I wasn't expecting to be anybody's pick, okay? So, because I was so controversial. Anyhow, so we start working together, and one thing I will tell you is I will be compassionate as I can be, right? As compassion can call for. One thing I will not do is I will not baby you, okay? So where others would say, well, others used to talk to him really slow. He wasn't stupid. He just had a speech impediment. So I would talk to him and I would have like regular conversations. And sometimes I get very passionate in conversations. I'll cut a person off, not realizing, oh snap, that's so rude. I cut somebody off. I'm just like really excited about the conversation. So I would talk to him and I would just have regular conversations with him. I did not acknowledge the fact that he had a speech impediment. I did not say, oh, well, what do you think about this? I didn't override him because I knew he was just like, somebody who stuttered. Regular conversation. Got time to do the presentation. And I looked at him. I said, I'm not, like, we were talking with our eyes, right? I looked at him and I told him, I said, I'm not speaking. You're presenting it, right? And he looked at me and I looked at him and I just did a nod like, you got it. It's okay, right? And the whole class was shocked. Do you know why? Because this man presented our work together and not one time did he stutter. Not once. Okay? Now, I'm saying that to say, you're going to have people, because of what's naturally you, sometimes you'll come across people that'll make fun of it. Sometimes you'll come across people that'll make you feel like you're dumb or you don't know any better because you have a speech impediment. And then you have others you'll come across and you'll just speak freely. You, even to the point you'll forget you have a speech impediment. Speech impediment, what? That don't exist, right? And I say that to say, that's the difference in the quality of when you know you're around people that see beyond what you're showing and people that just take you at face value. Okay? And I'm going to leave you with that. Now I'm going to close out the reading. Let's see here. Whoa. That helped. Not taking that. Okay. So the card that came out was family is everything. Nurture them and they will nurture you. You could have a family, but I'm also taking this as who you consider family and the family within you. Okay? I.e., the thoughts within your mind. You live with those thoughts. Right? You entertain those thoughts. You can eliminate, remove, nurture, dismantle those thoughts. That's family too, right? So have a more nurturing family within the depths of your unconscious and conscious mind. Okay? Now, two more cards. And just read that some more. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Neither the ones who think robotic ones can replace them. That's in reverse. Right? What are you learning? Even I feel like this is probably something like this level of what you had to go through is probably something that's much older than you. These thought forms could be much older than you, and I mean that from a sense of maybe you had an ancestral lineage that suffered from that, speaking up, not speaking up enough, speech impediments. Maybe you come from a line of that, but it's like you're realizing that though you come from a line of that, you can always renew, okay, or heal that lineage or that DNA, right? Because if we don't have the same cells every 7 years, we're like brand new people in the same skin. Okay, so anything can happen. It's like how you choose to alter your DNA for the better is going to be beneficial for the generations to come. This could be including your family, or this can be just you as an individual teaching others, right? One more card. It's time to let yourself be reborn and cleansed again. Yeah, man, look at that. Look at that. Would you look at that? You could it's time to let yourself be reborn. Yourself be reborn. I feel like somebody could be expecting, or they could want to create or procreate. Reborn and cleansed again. It's like you want to do something, but you want to raise family, like your family or your family of thoughts on your terms. I mean, as you should, right? You do have the power to do this. All right, one more. I'm feeling generous. This love and union inspired the heavens and moved spiritual mountains. I'm telling you. Direction of the winds. Don't feel like you have to control when how things come into union, when how you end up with someone, the person, what they do, what they have to be doing for a living, X, Y. Don't feel like you have to control that aspect. This is giving me like you have to let things flow as natural as possible. But do understand the wind, Can we see it? We can see its effects. So something is kind of like you're cleansed or you're cleansing, but it feels like doing something before something clears, or something, it feels like something is too, I want to say too late, but if it's a divine love, then something shifts. Okay, let's see. A lot of conspirators, but it's the nobody that knows exactly what happened. Mastermind. Yeah. If you feel the need to manipulate the situation at exactly what time, when you'll be with this person, how you'll be with this person, what this person needs to be, to look like, to do, then something may slip, right? But if you, there's something about having faith. You have to have faith in knowing that the person is going to come in with the right amount I don't know why I want to say evidence, but the right amount of proof or the right amount of passion or niche at just the right time. Okay, powerful. That's your reading. Bye.